Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 40 of my modded Factorio playthrough. On this episode, we're going to research farming and figure out how to get seeds, which we're going to need to start farming. Enjoy! It doesn't really unlock that much stuff, really. Just the different farming types. And we might as well research the different farming types since we're here. But first we have desert farming. And desert farming uses saline water and washed sand and various seeds. So we have Benefran, however you say that, and however you say that, that this unlocks. And I think that I previously determined that one of these was better than the other as far as making compost, but we can check that again. And this also unlocks the ability to turn them into whatever the actual item it is that we need to process. So we can turn Benefran into beans, this one into corn, this one into pips and crystal dust. So we'll just start that research. It'll probably happen super fast. Let's see what happens here. Oh yes. Wow, the belt isn't even fast enough to keep up with that. It's so fast. Wonder if we should make that yellow. There's no way we can produce enough science packs to keep up with this, but at least it would have a higher burst speed. And there's additional tiers of farming. They're gated behind all kinds of stuff. So it's not really worth dealing with right now. But basically, you see, it would require fertilizer to grow. So it's a little more complicated. Not quite free anymore. But to clear up the research here, we might as well do the swamp farming and the tippered farming. There's no reason why we can't do this type of farming. It's just I'm choosing to do the other stuff, the desert farming, just to get rid of saline water. But we certainly could do this farming as well, the swamp farming with mud, or tippered farming with soil. It all would work, so we might as well just hit all of those. How are the solar panels doing? Making progress. It was supposed to be at 544. Alright, so the small panels are there, but the large panels are going to take a lot longer than that. Seems like we need 2 more large panel machines to keep up the same rate. So let me try something here. We'll do a copy. Right there and right there. Connect them all together. Okay, now they're all connected. So one trick we can do is connect all of the chests together. And I don't know if we can directly connect them like this. Well, let's try. And it should add the contents of all of them together. So let's test this out. By picking up some panels, putting them in there. So you can't really tell because you're hovering over it, it says there's 81 in here and 50 in here. So we're going to have to connect it to a power pole, because then we can hover over the pole, and you see when we go to pole it says 132, 133. It's actually adding all of these together. So when this guy's like, alright, I need to make 544, it's actually looking at the total of all three because all three are connected. So it might be a little not very user-friendly because you can't hover over to find out the contents here. But one thing you can do is move it to a pole. Kind of like that. And then maybe do this and move these to the poles. And finally we can get rid of these ones. And also the connection between the box and the inserter. So I don't know if that makes more visual sense to you. But basically you want to have all the inserters and all the boxes on the same wire. You can hover over that, you see everything's connected together. And then we go over a power pole that the wire's connected to, and you see 140. So we know we have 140 of those. So it's probably going to take quite a while to catch up to the small panels. See, why is that one not running? Okay, so it's just not getting the circuit boards. Makes sense. So we'll let those run a little bit so we can start placing panels. I mean, another thing we can do is just increase production Well, I was like, well, we can increase production on circuit boards, but we really can't, though, because you see we're limited by tin, which we are producing as fast as we can right now, so there's really no point in increasing that speed. We're out of regular bobmonium, but I was prospecting it, so we can add the vein to the new list here. But it just can't produce it as quickly, because now the mining time is 437.5%. It was already hard to mine to begin with, and after prospecting it, makes it take just that much longer. Which makes sense, because it's digging it from deeper underground. It looks like there is a little ore to get right here. So can we get all of it with this? Yes. So that's kind of a limiting factor. We really need more bobmonium and whatnot, so we're starting to hit certain limiting factors in the base without major expansion, which is okay, it's just how it is. Okay, so this is caught up for now, so I'm going to take these desert gardens back out so that they're in our inventory, because the next thing we need to do is figure out how to do all this growing. So if we go down to trees here, and go to the part where we're making compost, we can remove this, and then add a new method of making compost. Let's see. Where is it hidden? It's hidden under here. So what three things was it? Binifran, that, and that. I believe that was one of them, that was one of them, and the Binifran was one of them. So you kind of click all three to find out. So that requires 2.1 composters. See, that's the same number of each. And then the same number of each. So it doesn't really matter which one we use. It takes the same amount of each one. But what does matter is how fast does each of them grow. So we can kind of clear all this out a little bit here. So Binifran is 35 and 30, 35 and 30, and 35 and 30. So it really doesn't matter. But what we do need is seeds. As you see, each one of these recipes requires 5 seeds to start the process. So we'll put 5 seeds in and then get 35 product out, and then we can take that product out to make seeds again. And we'll definitely be generating seeds from this, so all we need is enough seeds to start the process, so we need 5 seeds. So what we have been doing is taking these desert gardens and turning them into plant life samples. But another thing you can do is to just extract all the seeds out and get less plant life samples out of them. I thought it would be a lot less than 16. I thought it was going to be like 2 or something, so maybe it would have been better just to get the seeds out of them this way, but it really doesn't matter from the situation we're in. We've got plenty of desert gardens, so it doesn't really matter. So we need to extract some seeds out of there, and that's going to take time, so I want to do this first. And since I don't want to babysit it, let's see if we can do a circuit network to try to figure things out. Alright, so we want desert seed extract in here. Well, I guess this is going to be a little complicated of a setup compared to what we have been doing. But we need something going in, and then something going out. So we put our desert gardens in there. And if we don't do anything, it's just going to keep using all the gardens and creating seeds. But we really only need 5 seeds to begin with. Let's do some circuit network stuff. And we need some decider combinators. So 1, 2, 3. Basically what these are going to do are look for certain circuit conditions. So let's put them, doesn't really matter, right there. Then we're going to say with this one, because we are looking for 5 seeds, 5 Binifran seeds, we'll say if you have equal or greater than 5 seeds, output 1 of something. And I just usually use either green or red for stop or go. In this situation, I want it to stop, so let's say red. So output a red square if you have at least 5 seeds. And let's do the same thing for all 3, except change the seed to the other types that we need. So let's, since I can't pronounce any of those things, let's double check. Yep, there are those 3. So we only want this process to run until we have 5 seeds of one of them. You can see how it's 40% of this, 50% of this. That's just chance. So we could get all of those listed seeds, or we can get none of them. It just depends on the statistics. And because this has a 300-second processing time, it's going to be really annoying to just sit here and pay attention to it all the time. So we're going to, let's put a power pole up there just because. Of course it's going to start going. That's okay. Let's send the signal down here. I don't know, I like to have the signals like coming from the power pole itself, because it's a little easier to see them. It doesn't really matter, but it's up to you on how you want to do it. Oops, that one was already connected. And then let's connect those. That's kind of hard to see because of how close they are. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But then with this one, we'll have the enable disable situation. So its enabled condition is that red is less than, let's say, 1. So basically, it's just going to wait for one of these combinators to read the proper amount of seeds, and then it'll tell the whole process to stop. Now, it's not going to be perfect, because it's just going to depend on how exactly this machine clogs. Like, how many seeds does it take sitting in the machine to clog? So this isn't a perfect solution, but to me, it gives me a little peace of mind that it's not just going to obliterate all of those gardens. So we'll have to see. Okay, it looks like this process worked, where there are 10 planters in there, and now it has stopped. You can see how we can hold a maximum of 4 planters, so they all piled up in here, and then the process stopped. And we don't know which one we're going to be producing, but they're all identical. So for now, we can just say, we'll do that there, and we need 8.1 binifrans. So you go here, you can add that there. And the only farm we could have access to right now is basic farms. Desert farm would be much faster, but we don't have access to those, so we'll just have to do basic farm. And then here's kind of an idea of what we need. It seems like a fairly small amount of wash sand and a fairly small amount of saline water to produce this. We're already kind of grabbing some sand off of here, and something tells me that is more than sufficient for the amount of sand we're going to need. So from a pollution standpoint, we don't really want to grow this stuff right here because we're already absorbing plenty of pollution with this. However, from a belt standpoint, we very much want to do it from there, just because it's in such near proximity to everything else that we're doing. So how about let's do a compromise and do it maybe in here, this little square. So we need 7 farms, which requires soil, which is an interesting requirement. How is this seed generator doing? Almost done. Let's see what it produces. Yep, we got no seeds out of it, unfortunately. Just the plant life sample. So the way this works is when it says it has a certain percent, it checks all of those percents individually. So with binifran, it's a 40% chance of getting 5 seeds, and a 30% chance on the next one. So that you get chances for each one of those. So you could potentially win the lottery and get all 5 at once, or you could lose the lottery, like I did right there, and get none of them. It's just kind of how it works. Okay, let's do some farming right here. And I don't know which one we're going to get, but it doesn't matter, so just like the one. But we also need to produce seeds from this, actually, so we're going to need more farms than that. For some reason the matrix solver isn't really working. So I'll just have to calculate this number manually. We need 8.1. So if we have 8 farms, we'll be able to do that. So basically 1 farm's output is going to be necessary to generate the seeds. Okay, where the input goes in there, and then the output comes out from here. Let's see. Let's send that down. Then we need a seed extractor. Put right there. So then the seeds get sent back into the machine. And then the sand can come in through here. Through somewhere. And the output can come down here. And we need to steal some saline water, which we can do from all the way down here. Oh no, we got unlucky again. Just got more plant life samples. No seeds. Well, we've got this garden and then 2 more. And other than that, if that doesn't work, we're going to have to process some more gardens first. Well, since this stereotype patch is running low, might as well scan it too. Looks like the only thing we haven't scanned at this point is the rubite. Let's see, the easiest way will probably be to go down here. Oh, looks like we've got 1 more desert garden ready to go, in case we need it. So in comes the sand. All we need now is seeds. Come on, let's get something good. It's times like this makes me think it's broken or something, because it is just not giving any seeds. Well, okay then. It will eventually. Since we're here, we've got nothing better to do. While we're waiting for those seeds, so we could start building some of these solar panels. So we're all done with the small ones. So let me just set this to 50 again. And then I need to clear out my inventory. But we pick all those up, and it will start making the next set. Let's see. I will let it get up to 300 real quick, and then I'll pick up those 300. 300, and then pick everything up. Now we have 300 in our inventory, and we can take 300 off this number. So now they only need to make 244. Probably gonna need quite a few power poles too, but we'll go with this for now. So yeah, where to build these? There's a couple of random dead zones around here. Although on a temporary basis, putting them down here might make more sense. Simply because there's no way we're ever going to build something down there because it's so far away, and it's next to the wall. And the panels won't make the biters any more mad than they normally do. So maybe we can try putting them down there. So how big is this going to be? Where do we want to start the panels at? Probably like right here. That was a little rougher than I was expecting. Might want to just remove those trees ahead of time. But it's something like that. And there'll be no room for lights or anything. Okay, that's all the panels for now. Look at that nice, dense set of solar panels. So as far as power output, that's almost enough for the whole factory during the daytime. Looks like the steam engines only have to run a little bit, at least until we put the rest of the panels down. One problem I've noticed from this situation here is that we're going to fill up on hydrogen gas really fast. Because during the daytime, the fluid burn generator isn't going to run at all. And we're just going to fill up on hydrogen. So normally, we've got this little valve right here just to send it out when it's above 80%. But we really should do it when it's above 20%, because we don't need to hold on to that much hydrogen. So we'll put a pump there, connect it with the circuit network, and say hydrogen is greater than 4,000. So if it's above 20%, it will try to run and send it out. Which it will do right now, and unfortunately this is probably going to fill up, because it's going to take until nighttime for this thing to run at 100% and empty that out properly. All the stereotype prospecting is done here. And that's the end of this episode. On the next one, we are going to start growing some binifran, and then plan to do some coal washing, which is going to give us a lot of sulfur we can use. I'll see you later.